Hello, everyone. So let's start the webinar. So guys, after two immersive live sessions on Tally and SCP walkthroughs, we are back with our another session, which is related to accounting. So I'm Nikhil Rishi. I take care of implementations at EasyEcom, and I'll be conducting today's session on accounting best practices for e-commerce brands. So guys, very quickly, let's have a look that what is the agenda for today's discussion. So, to give you a brief overview, I'd like to share what is the reason why we are having, what is the reason of this webinar. So, during my discussions into the implementation, when we are doing implementation at our clients' places, and about the product, we always, get to know a list of questions or frequently asked questions which people have related to accounts. So we thought, why not, have a webinar to address all those questions. So as you know, accounting is the most important pillar of e-commerce. And since there are multiple channels, different ways, different terminologies, and it becomes, a humongous task for accounts to account each and every rupee moving around. So the focus of this webinar would be on that same problem. So we'll understand how we can address the bigger picture of e-commerce accounting and how it should be done. What are the methodologies, the tools, the process flows, and the ways to keep track of every rupee flowing in and out of the company. We'll also talk about how we can improve the profitability. We'll also talk about the compliances required for an e-commerce business. We'll also touch base with the area which we have a lot of hype around with, which is automating accounting processes in e-commerce. We'll at the end of the webinar, we'll discuss what are the best practices that one should follow. What are the common mistakes that the accounting team should avoid? So guys, to do this webinar, I have two panelists with me. Let's welcome them. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Ms. Sneha. So Ms. Sneha is an auditor at Hardtrac, and she completed her chartered accountant course at the age of 25, and she has been practicing since then. She takes care of all the accountings as well as the processes and auditing things at Hardtrac. So Hardtrac is one of the leading e-commerce seller on all of the various e-commerce platforms. Hardtrac manages 45 brands and has thousands of transactions in a day on the e-commerce. So welcome, Sneha. Next, we have
Thank you.
Harshit is from Swiss Military, and he is associated with Swiss Military from last 7 years as Deputy Finance Manager. Very quickly telling you about Swiss Military. So it's an international brand registered in 36 different countries and operational in 26 countries. They have a wide range of products ranging from luggage, backpack, sunglasses, writing instruments, travel accessories, fashion accessories, and a wide catalog. They sell on all major marketplaces in India through Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Paytm, Tata Click, Find, Appareo, Snapdeal, etc. Welcome, Harshit.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, so before we move on to the primary discussions, let me very quickly introduce you to EasyEcom, right? Now, EasyEcom, we are an omni-channel product which helps you aggregate orders from all different channels, be that online marketplaces, your web storefronts, your B2B sales, your retail sales, or even POS sales. We help you manage and push inventories to these platforms. We help you connect all the fulfillment channels and all the warehousing partners as well. with all these integrations, we help you sync inventory, orders, returns, payments, invoices in a centralized and an organized and an omni-channel way. We also help you into accounting reconciliation, payments and returns conciliations. We are integrated with a lot of ERPs as well, apart from the 70 plus integrations with the channels. And we are integrated with a lot of, different shipping companies, carriers, a lot of 3PL warehouse partners as well. So let's get on to, what we'll be doing in today's webinar. So throughout the course of the session, please feel free to post your queries in the questions tab, and our panelists will revert back to you as soon as possible and take up the common question. And we'll be taking up the common questions during the live Q&A, which we'll be having at the end of our discussions. Now, we'll also be sending across a few polls to you during the session. So please participate actively in the polls. Help us make this session an engaging one than the previous one. And, we'll also plan out with you towards the end of the session, what we can have in our forthcoming or the upcoming webinars. So I think let's talk on, why we are having this discussion. Let me give you a very quick context about it. So guys, in all the implementations I have attended, I have helped companies with, there are a lot of questions which come up related to accounting. So we thought, why not put all those questions, the frequently asked questions, into a webinar and ask them to our panelists and help you guys organize your accounting, streamline your accounting with EasyEcom. So let's get on to the discussion. So Sneha ji, my first question would be to you. So Sneha, before we get into the detailing of, the best practices, the common mistakes and everything, let us set context to this discussion. I would like to know from you, how big is the contribution of accounting and bookkeeping in the profitability of the e-commerce business? How big is the question?
In e-commerce, big is as we say, every product sold is an invoice. So every invoice require proper audit in e-commerce. Starting from raising invoice to payment allocation to expense allocation, and proper allocation is done or not is a very important. If proper expense is done, books has been done, then any businessman, any seller can identify how much profit has been earned. And for business, prime goal is to earn a profit. So it is that big issue.
That big issue, and
yeah.
I think you are hitting the nail on the head by having this discussion today. Perfect. Harshit, I like to know your views also on the subject. So how big is this question of proper accounting and bookkeeping for the profitability of an e-commerce business?
So I think so. Accounting is the key point to track the profitability. Sales is a initial part which generate the business and the profitability for the organization. But the accounting is must to realize the valuation and the profitability percentage for the organization, and that is must for each and every single invoice to get that what we are getting from which marketplace and which product. So it is very important for all the marketplaces.
Perfect. So guys, I think the audience would have understood by now, why we are having this webinar and how big is the question. So let's, move on to the details of this now. So Sneha ji, we always talk of leakages in e-commerce, leakages of money. So how big is this question of leakages? And what are the two biggest reasons for leakages in any e-commerce business?
For any businesses, leakages cannot be quantifiable, but major area we can say inventory management, payment receipt, and expense variance in e-commerce industries.
Okay. So you mentioned inventory management, payment receivables, and the expenses or the deductions which marketplaces make.
Yes.
These are the three areas which one should focus on to, get hold of their money.
Yes.
Perfect. Harshit, I come back to you again. What do you think are the biggest reasons of leakages?
So as far as the finance concern, I think so the return management and the charges deducted by the e-commerce companies are the major reason for the leakages. If we didn't manage the returns in a proper way, then we can lose in the business as well. So we have to manage that in a very proper and perfect way. And again, the deduction means the marketplaces do that also we have to take care very properly.
Right. So the common point which you guys are mentioning are return management, your deductions which marketplaces do, inventory management, and payment reconciliation. So these are the 4 areas which one should focus from the perspective of accounting and bookkeeping are the primary sources or primary buckets from which your money leaks and which you should plug. So Harshit, I'll get on to the next question with you. We talk of a lot of accounting softwares, and we also talk of every marketplace has their own reports, their own formats through which they help people understand where the expenses are being deducted and all those. So where does an accounting software come in picture, and why can't we rely on the data which marketplaces share?
So basically, the data provided by the marketplaces, we can't rely on that data, because if we rely on that particular data only, we are using it like a Bible. And if there is any kind of error due to any manual intervention or any technical issues, then we will not be able to find that error. So definitely we need an accounting software to check the books and compare both the data. So that's why the accounting software is required.
So apart from what you mean to say is, apart from what marketplaces, the data which comes from marketplaces, we need to even account that data. We need to even cross-check that data.
Definitely.
And we need an accounting software for it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sneha ji, your thoughts on to this?
Again, sir, I will repeat. Every transaction is an invoice, and in e-commerce is getting bigger and bigger nowadays. So for a manual or a human man cannot handle such large data. So good accounting software required. And again, accounting software helps us to summarize a order in a single line. So this will clear the picture.
Perfect. I get your point.
Yeah.
Harshit, coming back to you, so how do you manage your accounting in your company? How do you manage the accounting in your company? What is the architecture of the tools? What softwares do you use, or what tools do you use? How have you structured the softwares and the tools and everything? What's the architecture, the blueprint which you guys are following at Swiss Military?
So here we are using Tally and the combination of EasyEcom for our e-commerce platform, and using the 3 level of data like we are getting from the EasyEcom, from our Tally, and from the marketplaces. We use that 3 level of data to reconcile our accounts, because definitely there could be a manual error in our Tally Tally inputs, or there's maybe some kind of technical error in EasyEcom or in marketplace data. So we have to reconcile all the 3 data, and then we find out if there is any error or not, and then we rectify that. So this is the way we are doing the reconciliation here.
Perfect. And quickly, if you could share with our viewers, how does EasyEcom help you in your accounting, and what sort of data do you get from EasyEcom into your Tally, or when you export data from EasyEcom into Tally for your accounting?
Okay, so as Sneha says that in e-commerce, every order have a invoice, and the data is very huge. So it is not a very easy task to compile that data, and definitely the EasyEcom is helping very much in that by syncing the data in our Tally. So we have to figure out only those data where there is some kind of discrepancy appearing in the Tally. We don't have to reconcile each and every data. So that is very means time saving and the effort saving task which is doing EasyEcom doing for us. So that's it.
Perfect. So Snehaji, your views onto it. How is EasyEcom helping in your accounting, and what data do you get from EasyEcom? What all data do you get from EasyEcom?
So EasyEcom captures our all data from all e-commerce portal automatically, invoices, returns, payments, and properly allocates and sync into our accounting software. Basically, it's act as a bridge between e-commerce portal and our accounting software which we are using. So it's EasyEcom makes our life very simple.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so Harshit and Sneha, I'd like to know from you. Like you guys shared that EasyEcom, compiles, aggregates all the data and helps you get that data into your accounting software. What are the other sources of data you have to reach out to, or you have to use to complete your accounting or your bookkeeping? What are the other sources apart from EasyEcom, the data which is being pulled from the marketplaces? Harshit, I'll go with you first.
So in most of the cases, we don't need any other data from the marketplaces. But if there is any kind of discrepancy we are feeling that there is a discrepancy, then we have the marketplace data which we can fetch out, and we can discuss it with EasyEcom that there is some kind of error we are feeling, or any issue we are facing with this particular order syncing or return issues. So we, as I told you earlier as well, we have three tier data. Like one is the data provided by the EasyEcom, and then the data we have in our Tally, and the data we get from the marketplaces. So we use these three data to reconcile our complete account.
Perfect. Snehaji, coming back to you, what are the the other sources apart from EasyEcom for you to complete your accounting?
Yes, majorly we rely on the EasyEcom because it's consolidated our data. But apart from that, we rely on for payment. We rely on the bank for government site, TDS, TCS, GST from there, and again, as it said, from other marketplace. Yes.
Okay, so I think then as far as the data which is required, how difficult is it to get or compile the complete data, and how can one simplify it apart for the sources of data which are of EasyEcom, for the sources of data apart from EasyEcom, the other sources, how can one make their life simple in gathering that data? Harshit ji, I'll come back to you on this question.
So that is more about the sales team, because my sales team provides me the data from the marketplaces. I think so. They used to create a dump of all the reports, like the reports of returns and the reports of payment and all. So I think so. Means creating a master file is must to keep all the data, and then we can use any kind of tool to simplify that data, like pivot table and anything else. And Other than that, we have to use our tally for to reconcile the same.
Okay. So, apart from these data sources, there is another major part which is, primarily responsibility of the dispatch team and the accounting team, the e-way bills and the e-invoices. So, e-way bills and e-invoices, as far as I am aware, you can, generate e-way bills and e-invoices for your B2B orders through EasyEcom. And what sort of, more functionalities or, gaps are there in managing your e-way bills and e-invoices? A little bit of, highlight onto that. Sneha ji, if you could take up this question, please. This is, one question from one of our attendees. So she says, how should she manage the canceling of e-invoices, e-way bills? How should she manage her return e-invoices? What is the method to do this?
It's different from organization, and again these are the governmental aspect, and sir, it has to be get it clarified from the auditor who is signing the audit.
So you mean to say the process needs to be customized as per the organization and should be through the as per the directions of the auditor?
Yes.
Perfect. So Sneha ji, I'll get on to more specific questions now.
Yeah.
We always talk of every marketplace has its different way of working. So what are the specific factors? What are the marketplace specific factors which impact accounting, and how does it differ with each marketplace?
As you said, each marketplace has their own style of working and different format of reporting. So seller has to adapt and accounting that reporting in their account software.
Okay. So how does how does one identify and take care of this differences between the marketplaces? Is it like there are two different set of processes or different set of heads under which they do deductions, or is it all similar? How's it, or it's just a difference of terminology?
Yeah, it's just a difference of terminology. At the end of the day, everything is the same. Say example of freight charges, transport charges. One portal say freight charges, one portal say transport charges, one say weight handling. So it is a different names altogether, but meaning is only one.
Meaning is one. So
Yeah.
So you mean to say when we are deep into the numbers, we'll be able to understand that it's all same, the terminologies are different. So one should focus on finding the common things and not the differences into marketplaces, and solve the problem from being a bigger problem to a smaller problem, right?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Okay. And there is the before I move on to the next question, guys, I have a couple of polls into place. You guys can move to the poll section onto your left hand side. There are a couple of polls awaiting your responses. Please do respond onto these polls. Sneha, getting on to the next question. There is always a very big discussion around marketplace deductions. So
Yes.
And it's always a very, very hot subject for the accounting team, for the business, for the sales team as well. We have that Amazon has that calculator, kitna milega calculator, right? So how does e-commerce brand avoid extra marketplace deductions? The real question, the money which is being deducted by marketplaces, how can one avoid that? How can the brand take care of the marketplace deductions?
say by delivery, by daily monitoring the summarized report of a sale order and identify a preference where are the small gaps any can find, and that gaps should be alert and raised on timely basis within the date given by e-commerce portal.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So what I learned from you is that one should have access to summarized reports and should review and analyze those summarized reports daily, right? And
Yeah,
identify the pilferages and then reach back to the marketplaces within the due tag or within the tag
yeah,
defined by the marketplaces. Guys, very
yeah.
important point, very important point. And I think, if these reviews or analysis, Snehaji, let me ask you this: if this question, this review and analysis of the summary report does not happen every day, if it happens, like weekly or monthly, uh, how does it increase the problem, or can one do this monthly or weekly, or is it mandatory to do it daily? What is your experience onto it?
So if anyone asks me, I prefer daily basis because daily basis my money at risk. If I do on monthly basis or weekly basis, I will find that at the end of the week or end of the month. And if any preference I can what I can say cut back or any I can say
Identify that
outcome
right
stop,
away.
yeah, rectify it and I can stop it from my end. I will do it prior.
Yes, yes, that makes a lot of sense. So, when I sit with people, what some businesses when they are learning, the monthly GST return when it has to go, that is when people sit on to the data, and that is when they find surprises into the data. So, guys, very important thing that you take a look at the summary reports. Maybe some of the summary reports are coming from EasyEcom as well. Take a look at that summary reports every day so that you can identify and plug those issues right at that day itself. So I think, let's take a couple of more questions. We have a lot of questions into the question and answer tab, and I'm delighted, guys, that you guys are sharing, taking interest into this. Okay. So we have a question from Ms. Sridevi. She says that we are not able to reconcile the GST report received from e-commerce seller data with the EasyEcom data fetched in Tally. I'll repeat the question, Harshit and Sneha. She's asking, we are not able to reconcile the GST report received from the marketplace and the data which is fetched from EasyEcom into Tally. So can you please, any of you could help us, what is the correct way of reconciling it into Tally? Snehaji, would you like to take that question?
Sure. Um, Reconciliation is a basically Amazon what report has generated vis-a-vis what EasyEcom has captured the data and that data has been reconciled in Tally or not. So first has to be reconciled data Amazon with EasyEcom, then EasyEcom to Tally. If EasyEcom data 99% data captures correctly, sometimes say because of the date there will be a gap. Otherwise 99% it captures the correct data. Then EasyEcom to Tally, that has to be reconciled. And it is reconciled correctly 99%.
Perfect. So, Sridevi ji, what Sneha ji is suggesting is that you break the process into two parts. Part number one, Sneha ji, correct me if I understood it wrong. Tally the data from marketplace with EasyEcom, and 99% data as per her experience, as per her huge experience, will match. And then you tally your data from EasyEcom into your Tally accounting software. That is where you will be able to find the exact issue why you are not able to reconcile the reports. Correct, Sneha ji? I think this was a very nice question. This was a very, very, very good question.
Yes.
Right. So, let's get on to the next question. And my next question would be to Harshit. So, Harshit, we talk of in the starting when you guys shared the reasons or the 4 big reasons of leakages. You guys had mentioned returns as a big reason. So how do you do your return order accounting in terms of valuation and stock numbers? How do you manage your return accounting?
So in our case, means the return rate is very low, and we are getting 1 or 2% of the returns. And for that as well, means my sales teams, in most of the cases, my sales teams raise a concern if there is any kind of discrepancy in the return product received. Otherwise, it is means if there is no discrepancy, then we take it inward and we generate a CN for the marketplaces, and then that is equalize our order and our inventory.
Okay, I get you. So Harshit, I'll very quickly get on to the next question as well with you. We talk of automation in accounting as well. So how can brands automate their accounting process, and to what extent can they automate it?
Okay, so there are multiple software available in the market as of now to automate the accounting process. Like EasyEcom is one of the example, and I think so. It's a very good service provider for the automation for e-commerce. And as you asked that at what extent we can do the automation, then in that I would say that as of now we can't rely 100% on any software tool, because it's a very new age product in the market as of now. So definitely there is a scope of study, and we have to wait for some time. By that means after that, I think so a software can be developed which can automate the accounting 100%. But definitely we have to recheck and cross-check all the entries once to be sure that we are not facing any loss due to any technical error.
Okay. So you mean to say with all the automations in place, be that the reports which are coming from EasyEcom, or maybe you could link up a software with your bank to reconcile your payments. At the end of the day, we will need some manual intervention. This is what you are trying to say.
Yeah, as of now we need.
Okay, perfect. Sneha ji, your thoughts onto this very, very interesting subject of accounting automation.
In today's technology era, accounting and accounting software, accounting automation, it both are the same. Accounting has to be done automatically. In Hardtrac, we have automate process from order process to tracking delivery of the product till last mile, automatic generation of invoice, along with e-way bill, capturing auto payments, allocation with the help of EasyEcom. So our process is automized all start to end. Our sales team only do the what you say, define the selling price and what product they require.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are ways, like you said, there are ways to automate the processes into silos. I mean, into different parts. Focus on what data you want and from where you want it, and automate that thing.
Yes.
And eventually move on to figure out what is left to automate. That is what you're trying to say. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So crawling back to the last question of return order accounting, we have a question, a pure accounting question from Mr. Sai. Sneha and Harshit, please, understand this question. He says, for an order of amount 900, which is product A of 500 and product B 400. There is one order of rupees 900, A of 500 and product B of 400. Now he says how to account the returns. Part payment is received by card and part is paid by gift voucher. And the request came for only part B, that product B, that is 400. Now, how shall I, whether we need to pay by 400 by card or shall he refund it back by the gift voucher? I'll repeat the question. Order is of 900 rupees, two products into it, product A 500, product B 400, customer paid by part by card and the other part by gift voucher. He returned product B, which is of 400 rupees. अब पैसा वापस कहाँ पे दें, कार्ड में दें या एक नया गिफ्ट वाउचर इशू करें? Guys, who would like to pick up this question? Very interesting question, and this is hands on now. Harshit ji.
Agar if anyone asks me as a business point of view, I will not return my money. Why will I return my money? I will give the gift voucher. So customer can come and again buy any product he wants. So I can generate another sales.
Okay. And the second part, how shall, is there any accounting impact onto this? When, let's say, Sai gives another gift voucher to that customer, what is the overall accounting impact in terms of the, ledgers, etc.? Is there any accounting impact which we need to take care
of? No, because product received back and against which gift card has been issued. So there will be no much ledger effect.
Okay. Perfect. So I hope, Sai, your primary question is answered from the business perspective. Don't give the customer money back. Sneha ji says, give the customer a gift voucher so that he comes back, places another order for another product. And as far as accounting impact is concerned, she has shared that there is not major accounting impact onto it. It would be just a return against the second product, which is of 400 rupees. Right, Sneha ji? Okay. So, I have another question from Mr. Saisir. We are working on around 10 different portals. How EasyEcom help in that? As we work with eCommerce, they just ask different data of listing many times. It does help us how it is different from eCommerce. So, boss, I'll take up this question, my core area. Now, when you talk of how is EasyEcom different from eCommerce, and like you said, the other question is that they have, they asked for your listing data many times and it did not help you. That is what I understand from you. See, what matters is for us. Let me focus on what we do. What is our methodology to take care of such cases or take care of new implementations? We want our customers, our sellers, to take EasyEcom next to an ERP. So for you guys, EasyEcom is next to an ERP for your organization. You should take it seriously. Point number one. Now, when I demand seriousness from you, I would have to also show seriousness from my end. We sit with people, help them understand how they would have to do the implementation part. How will they integrate their 10 different portals, maybe in one go, maybe in stages, as per every use case. And we guide you through each and every step of the implementation so that we can enable you. See, unless and until we enable you, this thing is not going to work. whether you use our product, any other product, or you bring on maybe SpaceX to do it. The point is that somebody has to enable you, somebody has to educate you, somebody has to sit down with you to help you do it, and that is what we do. So I think when you go with us, your 10 different portals, maybe 10 different or 20 different portals, listing, etc., will be taken care of. Just reach out to our experts onto our website and they'll guide you how we do it and help you do it. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next question into my list. And this is again a very, very important question. As we do business, Sneha ji and Harshit ji, there are a lot of compliance requirements. I think from the perspective of taxation or ROC compliances or maybe other transportation compliances. So what are the Sneha ji, I'd like to know from you, what are all sort of compliance requirements for an e-commerce brand, and to what extent one can take help from EasyEcom into that compliance?
As on that, major compliance is a GST. Thanks to our new government, they have reduced our burden by introducing the GST. So only say a monthly, we have to report only a one compliances. That is come to the GST. ROC, income tax are a yearly compliances. So anyone can handle. But on monthly basis, we have only one compliance, that is GST. And EasyCom here help us by capturing the data on timely basis, accurate basis from various portals, and that sync to our accounting software. So everything has been done timely and accurately. It saves our times and help us to get ready by say within the due dates. Yeah.
So apart from GST, ma'am, what are the other compliances which a company should take care of? Let's discuss on the broader on this broader subject. As far as I know, there are legal metrology compliances required as well. And are there any sort of TDS compliances or any other thing which is required, which one should focus on, which people come to know later on?
Yeah, one is the TDS and TCS compliances, which comes quarterly basis, and these reports are easily available by e-commerce portal very well.
Okay. And is there a need to cross verify that data as well, or is it like it matches?
It has to be cross verified, sir. 100% we have to say, yeah.
It has to be cross verified. And
yes.
like you said, the GST data is available in a consolidated form from EasyEcom maybe. Does EasyEcom help you in this TDS compliance and TCS compliance as well?
I say yes, partly no, because there are two types of TDS. One is the TDS collected by e-commerce portal, and one has seller has to deduct. So EasyEcom helps where they have collected, e-commerce portal has collected TDS from seller.
Okay.
And other is e-com that seller has to deduct and deposit thereby own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the two major parts.
Yes.
Okay. Harshit ji, any other compliances which you feel one should take care of apart from the things we discussed, GST, TDS, or maybe legal metrology point, which I mentioned, a very important point which people miss out sometimes, especially people who are into FMCG and food products. Harshit, anything from your end, any compliances which one should take care of so that they don't miss out onto it and there's a surprise later on?
Yeah, Ms. Sneha covered most of all the legal compliances, but I think so, as you mentioned as well, that metrology is also a compliance which seller have to follow, and all the marketplaces share the requirements for the metrology compliances, and that can be taken care accordingly.
Okay.
The manufacturing date and the product manufactured by, imported by, all these terms we have to mention on the our barcode label. So that is it.
Okay, so we have a question into this question and answer tab where Sridevi says that apart from Snehaji, which you mentioned, quarterly TCS or quarterly, she says we receive TCS on a monthly basis. So is there anything strange here, or is it correct? I am not sure about this. Whether this question. How to address this question. We receive TCS on a monthly basis, and how does it impact their compliance? If you could please help us.
Sir, TCS monthly basis is a separate thing. TDS is a monthly. Yeah, the e-commerce portal deducts monthly or even order-wise TDS and TCS, and it's collect and deposit to the government. They give us the report monthly basis. That's, we are speaking of income tax. Whereas this TCS again comes under GST compliance also, which is a monthly basis.
Okay. So the TCS which comes under the compliance of GST is on monthly basis, which the marketplaces deduct order by order.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So let's try to summarize the discussion which we had today, Harshit and Sneha. I'll have two questions, one for each of you, to summarize the discussions, and you could add on maybe some important aspects which we missed, so that people can get benefit of this discussion. Snehaji, first question to you. So what are the common mistakes that the accounting team should avoid, and what are the 3 best practices one should build for the health of the company and the books? I'll repeat: common mistakes and 3 best practices.
Mistakes in one sentence we can say: do not ignore the accounts. If accounts has been ignored, mistakes start from there. Best practice say ensure accounting, order-wise accounting. Order-wise accounting is the best practice. Then tracking and payment and expense variance order-wise. Third is handling of inventory management, including returns.
So guys, I'll repeat it for you people. Please focus on what Snehaji just said. She says that the common mistake is that people neglect the accounting part. Right, Snehaji?
Yes.
One should not neglect the accounting part of the e-commerce business. And the 3 best practices, Snehaji, if help me please recall those. One is you said inventory management.
Yes.
The other is you said proper return accounting, and the third is payment reconciliation.
Yes.
So guys, do not neglect your accounting of your e-commerce business. And like we discussed previously, Snehaji had mentioned that should be done on daily basis. Somebody from your team has to sit down on the data daily. And if you sit on daily, I think the best practices, Snehaji, would evolve automatically, that you take care of your inventory, your payments, and your returns reconciliation. If somebody develops a practice of doing this daily, then automatically the best practices would come in picture and get implemented into their organization.
Yes.
Perfect. I think your answer summarizes the big issue which we were trying to address into this discussion. So Harshit, next, the last question of the day for my panelist. Harshit, the last question is to you. We talk of scalability of business, and okay, I'll grow my business, I'll scale my business. But at the same time, one has to scale the accounting of the whole business as well. So my question to you is, how can one standardize the accounting processes for e-commerce to manage the scalability of business?
Okay, so a good question. So I think so to go with the scalability. I think so. Account also have to set some procedure, like they have to segregate the management in three parts, like inventory management, payment management, and the RTV management, which is a must. So for inventory management, we have the EasyEcom there, and for payment management means whatever the payment we are getting, we have to reconcile that order by order, and EasyEcom is helping in that as well. Third one is the RTV management. Whenever we are getting any RTV, so there is some kind of extra deduction done by the marketplaces that we have to reconcile. And if there is any additional or unknown reduction is done by the marketplaces, then we have to raise the concern with them. So I think so. These are the three key points to scale your sale and business and accounting accordingly. Inventory management, payment management, and the RTV management is must.
Okay, so you mean to say every organization, by the time they are thinking of scaling their businesses or even, increasing their sales or maybe adding their products, they should focus on these three processes, which you mentioned, the RTO.
Yeah.
The other one was inventory management. The third one was
payment management.
So payment management.
Or we can say reconciliation.
Reconciliation. So if one is able to just take care of building up processes to do these three things, inventory management, RTO management, and payment management, and accounting processes around them, total complete accounting process for these three different set of these three different things, one can automatically write down the story of scalability and success of their business. This is what you mean to say. I think this is bang on. I think I have received the returns for the time, and or I think everybody who has invested their time into this webinar, these last two questions and the things which you guys have shared are real business, and one should focus on that. So guys, thank you Sneha ji, thank you Harshit ji, thank you very much. So before we end this discussion, we'll be guys, all my audience, we have polls into the poll section, and there were very good questions into the polls. What is your biggest pain point in e-commerce accounting? Which accounting software ERP are you using? And then then we have the third question. Okay, let me right away share the results as well with you guys. We asked what is your biggest pain point in e-commerce accounting, and people said the biggest pain point is reconciliation of sales for various portals in accounting. This is the biggest pain point. And the next point is managing returns and credit note processes. So I think, guys, if you focus on what the processes and the nitty-gritties which Sneha ji and Harshit ji shared, you must be able to solve it. Now let's get back to the other two questions which you guys should answer. Is what do you think would be the game changer for the e-commerce system? And the last question into the polls, what should we cover in our next webinar? So guys, please go to the poll section and answer these questions, please. So, and also at the same time, you can type in your questions into the question and answer tab, and we'll take up all the questions which we have not taken up so far, and request our panelists to help us into that. Please type in your questions very quickly. And in the meantime, when you are typing your question and answering your polls, I want to launch, and I want to share with you a very, very exciting news. And I'll share my screen with you guys for that. Okay. I hope you can, see my screen. Now, what has happened is that, over the time, people always request us that, boss, there is a deficit of knowledge, there is a deficit of training in the e-commerce industry. And to fill that gap, we are happy to introduce to you, our academy, where the first course which we are launching is the e-commerce operations executive, the very, very big issue into every organization. There is a lot of attrition everywhere, and you need trained staff for that. So, we are taking our first step to bring in knowledge and have this knowledge initiative into the industry, and launching a course, an academy to take care of such courses. And the first course which we are launching is the e-commerce operations executive. We'll be covering what is the need for e-commerce automation, how you can use EasyEcom to process your orders, you manage your daily operations, your dispatches, returns, cancellations, warehouse management, etc. You could just we'll send an email to everybody after this webinar. You can just log on to the site and subscribe to the course. And this course is a very, very intuitive course. It is not just an online course. So we have divided into 3 categories. One is live sessions, 25 hours of live sessions, 5 hours of module wise evaluation tests, and 5 hours of on-site practical training for people to how actually manage your daily warehouse operations. That's a very, very important aspect, that this is not just an online thing. This means real business for you. And the interesting thing is that EasyEcom would be giving you certificates for the same, certifying you, so that that will also help people into operations get a lot of opportunities, point number 1, and get a master into the system. And in the e-commerce EasyEcom Academy, we'll be also launching a few more courses into maybe accounting and into stores management as well. We are looking forward to courses for the management as well. What sort of data you should look at, very important aspect. You have a whole lot of data in front of you. People sometimes are overwhelmed with that data and do not get what sense should I make out of it. So we'll be having courses for that as well. So I think with that, let's get back onto the question and answers. Sneha ji and Harshit ji, I would need your help onto it. Let me see the ones which we have not answered so far. There is a question by Mr. Ayush Agarwal. He says the TCS filed by marketplaces under GSTR 8 does not match with the monthly GST reports provided to us by marketplaces. How do we reconcile the same? Sneha ji and Harshit ji, please let me know who would like to take up this question. The TCS filed by marketplaces under GSTR 8 does not match with the monthly GST reports provided to us by marketplaces. How shall we reconcile this? You'll be taking up this question? You could help us how to solve this problem. Sneha ji, Harshit, any one of you. The TCS filed by marketplaces in GST report does not match with the report which is given by the marketplace. How shall we go about it? I think this is a very, very tough question Mr. Ayush has posted.
If I can answer.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, if we have accounting the order wise TCS and TDS details, then we can surely match. If we are not accounted properly, we have said by monthly say X amount has been recorded, then it will not be matched. We have
Okay.
to book or account otherwise, then you will surely, it will be 100% it will match.
Okay, perfect. So I think with this we come to the end of our webinar, and let me very quickly share with you the results of the polls. And I had a question which was, what do you think would be the game changer for the e-commerce ecosystem? And people said 58% said standardizing accounting processes would be the game changer for the e-commerce ecosystem. I think we have an impact today. And the next was, automated ERP integrations, which is a dream for every organization. And then people said having access to trained e-commerce resources. And the last question, what should we cover in our next webinar? So guys, there are, and Sneha ji, Harshit ji, I might need your help in future. People said the options were integrated B2B wholesale, integrated B2B wholesale order management, inventory forecasting, warehouse setup and management, compliances for e-commerce. And 38% people said we need help on compliances for e-commerce. And after that is the inventory forecasting and purchase planning. So guys, thank you for your inputs. I'll like to first of all thanks to all the attendees for coming up, attending this webinar, sharing your responses onto our polls and question and answers. And a very big thanks to Sneha ji and Harshit ji for taking out time to help the ecosystem. I'll say this is a help for the ecosystem to grow and to share knowledge, and it's very important for everybody, and I hope everybody enjoyed this webinar. Thank you, Sneha ji. Thank you, Harshit ji. Thank you, guys.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you.